record sana. So again, good evening, everyone. Gabe, Ivy, and Jason. So again, reminding everyone that this is gonna be our last na klase, and deadline is I'm giving you until the 21st ng August ng lahat ng mga submissions. No, hopefully tulo lang man, and then ikaupat ning kani mga quizzes na rin. So equally ano lang na siya, equal weight, grading weight, no? So ay and so kumusta naman? Ready na for submission? Okay, so last time we actually talked about publishing an research presentation, and in this we discussed about last time about the different how to prepare the PowerPoint presentations and also the poster presentations. So if I remember it right, nahuman man nato, no? Tama ba ko? Yung mga PowerPoints at saka posters. So lahat na show man ako, and also kabalo naman mo magbuhat sa poster, 'di ba? Sa PowerPoint. Tama ba ko?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So last time we just talked about this one, the different guidelines, and then the sample oral presentation, and yes, the different posters. So as you can see, yung mga poster, sample poster na nagawa ko last time, but there are also ways that you can make it, I believe, mas mas creative at saka mas adapt to technology. And make sure you answer the quiz. Okay, so going back to the topics, we are now on going back to the publishing an article in journals. So yung midterm na book actually hindi natin na tapos, but then you need to scan it, and also step by step i-click niyo yon before you go to the end of the quizzes. No, and also madali lang naman yung quiz. So let's just for a while check your attendance. Ay, Ano ginawa ko? I am again adjusting my laptop kasi ibang laptop na naman ang ginamit ko. Yan. Kaysa nawala kong snipping tools, ako na lang siyang picture sa ano. Okay, so going back, yeah, we are now on this one sa dito sa ano sa journal submission na tayo. So I have, if you click this ATR or anisotropical research instructions, so you will be directed here. So this is an example of the so this is an example of the journal that in the website, the Annals of Tropical Research. So you can see here the review process procedure. So in this they are actually publishing original, innovative, recent research papers or review articles. Yung pinagawa ko sa inyo na review articles and research notes, yung parang short, very short na research output and conference proceedings. If there are conferences, no, and then they're going to have a proceeding of all the abstracts. So that's also another publication, editorials and letters to the editor. So this is published by annually every June and December. And it is now also, it's it's founded since 1979, very old. And nakato na bumawag koan, BSU, Visayas State University.
Wala man din.
Wala, ma'am.
Wala pa. So if you, sa ano na siya sa Leyte, and it's a very beautiful na ano, na school. So I've been there a lot of time na kasi kabalo na mo laagan kay ko and also if sana walang pandemic no, so we might consider going there, no, as field trip. So in there this is in Visayas State University, ito yung kanilang official na journal, like the RMC. We also have an official journal where the different researches from students and faculty are being published. And as you can see here, merong instructions kung bakit siya mare-reject at saka yung scope niya. This is actually wala there is a review process, but if you're going to open the home page, so you will see yung kaniyang scope, no? Although wala tari. Tapos supposed to na yung scope tari, no? I just don't know what happened. But in here, basta they're not so particular. Supposedly in other journal nakalagay diyan yung scope kung ano yung mga topics na kanilang pinapublish. But in Annals of Tropical Research, so lahat ng cover ng tropics ay kanilang research. Ay you can actually submit here. So it means ang review process na is double blind. Ibig sabihin, yung authors and reviewers are kept anonymous or it's secret. And the recommendation of the reviewers will be published with revision na siya. But with if the paper is already excellent, so pwede siyang without revision and accepted with minor revision. So ganon. After the corrections from the 2 to 3 reviewers. And then authors within 4 weeks, although tumatagal din minsan 2 months, will be revising based on the corrections of the different reviewers and also in the editor-in-chief for final approval. And if you fail to submit the revision, so imagine, no, pagsulat mo lang sa paper, karon you can see how hard it is when you write the paper, and then after that when you submit it for publication you will go through process of revisions. So there are even journals that are very strict and editor that kept on wanting what format they want and so on, no? So aside from the review process, you can also see here the ethics statement. So this is what we have been studying. I mean, in the for the it's been actually kanang the ethics committee or the ethics review is actually started na many years in maybe 2 years or 1 year lang pala. Sorry, in RMC, but this time I'm part of it and we are considering that lahat ng mga research, especially involving human studies and animal studies, should have an ethics review process. So I appointed as the secretary now, and lahat ng mga researches na yun nga social studies na involving humans and also animal studies. So for instance, dapat in part of the ethics statement is uphold intellectual honesty. So ibig sabihin yung research na yan ay kinandak mo with all honesty. Hindi mo lang gawa-gawa or yung mga data na yan ay hindi rin peke, no? And also considering fundamental ethical principles for the responsible conduct of academic and scientific pursuit, and authors are to conform with the ethics statement. So another one is data storage and documentation. Although hindi raw siya mandatory, but the authors should make their data, transcript, and other artifacts in the paper available via public use, no, or data. So this will be online and makikita ninyo this is an example of the publication that I have made, no, with my dissertation advisor, si Dr. Tansho, my advisor in UP sa PhD ko. So going back here, eto na pala. So ito yung kanyang scope. Hindi pala siya scope. So anyways, so what about human studies? So first, with human participants, kailangan approve siya ng ethics committee. No, that's what I'm just telling you a while ago. And it must conform to the standards ng like for example, no, based sa aming review guidelines, especially kung sa medicine, no, kailangan with consent siya, and if ever below 18 years old, kailangan na yung mga condition for that, no, kailangan ma-preserve po nimo ang respect sa tao in terms also of confidentiality, and also especially na dili sila ma-degrade yung sample or yung mga population. So images and information from individual participants will be published only when the authors have obtained the individual's prior informed consent. So may consent or may pahintulot, and which although doesn't need the copy of the consent na, but however, when you agree with the publication, so i-confirm mo na yes, may consent talaga. So if, of course, nag-atik-atik ka, so pwede after that ma-divulge siya. So for minors naman, like children and infant, authors should confirm that the written informed consent from the legal authorized representatives like parents or guardians are also obtained when requested, and there is a verbal informed consent obtained. And for animal studies naman, like for us, no, we are studying animals, livestock. So kailangan the protocol and procedures applied that this were reviewed and approved by an appropriate animal ethics committee. So there are also like animal ethics committee na responsible for that, kasi we have also kanang Animal Welfare Act, no, not only in the Philippines but also here in other countries. So say hi, baby.
Hi.
Kasi si mami, okay?
Okay, mami. Dito ko magtulog sa bed ni
Yes. Tabi tayo mamaya.
Tita.
Tabi tayo mamaya, okay?
Natulog ko sa bed ni Tita.
Yes. So second,
Dito na ko matulog.
the name of the body giving such approval should be indicated and should be mentioned in the methods of the manuscript. And this should encourage to adhere the animal research reporting standards for reporting study design and statistical analysis, the experimental procedures, basic protocols involved in housing, husbandry, and health management of experimental animals. So, good kung sa ano pa sa plants, good agricultural practice siya. And it should clearly state that the experiments or clinical trials were performed in accordance with the relevant institutional and national guidelines and regulation for the care and use of lab animals as the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee. For example, no, yung dili nimo siya like because of Animal Welfare Act, dili mo siya dapat patyon, no, ang mga animals. Conflict of interest is another one. So, ibig sabihin, like, if you are the reviewer and then na kay personal relation or personal conflict with the researcher, so kailangan you will not be part of this review kasi conflict of interest nga. So, yun. And the funding should always be indicated. And eto, very important, the authorship. So, in terms of author, sino lang dapat ang i-include mo? So, as we have discussed prior to this, kailangan kung sino yung may pinakamabigat, nagsulat ng paper, gumawa ng paper, so yung first author, and the degree of importance or contribution is sunod-sunod na. Ending with ano na siya, kung sino ang yung kung sino ang tawag doon. Di pa kayo kabalo. did I do? Wait lang. Ayan. So, kung sino yung parang head na ano, or head ba yan? Or kanang, tawag doon, kanang editor, no? Or will be the last author na siya. Okay, so, ay, sorry. And then, but the editors and the editorial team are excluded, of course. So, in case na you want to add authors after a review, it's not allowed, no, and it's ground for rejection. And another important thing is plagiarism. So prior to review, the journal will subject this submission to, meron tayong tinatawag na plagiarism software. So if you're going to Google it, there are a lot of software, plagiarism checker. Ayan. So, ito yung i-detect nila kung yung paper mo is, so mag-upload ka ng file dito, and then scan mo, and then they can determine exactly, wala lang kasi akong file dito. So, like for example, do you have any suggestion of word? Mary Rose? Or anyone? Lance? Just a sentence. Or any sentence na i-ano na to. Sa kaya ano? Unsa yung favorite saying, Ivy?
Ma'am din?
Favorite ni mga saying?
Favorite saying, be happy always.
God is the, sige na, is the backbone of economy. Let's say this one, and yung favorite ni Ivy na be happy. Tingnan natin. Let's just try and then scan for plagiarism. Or use our sample text. Okay. May sample text to sila. Ayaw nila dun sa konti kasi kailangan may limit. So, scan for plagiarism. So, you will see here na there is a plagiarism found, which is significant. So, in terms of grammar, may 7. And dapat makikita dito kung ano yung ano. Pero yung like for additional writing issues, no, conciseness, may example na pala dito, punctuation, spelling, yung grammar, ensure work fresh. Okay. So, iha-highlight niya supposedly, in some kasi iha-highlight niya kung ilan yung plagiarism. And you have to, again, if it's very like 90% plagiarism siya, so yun nga po na siya ni-edit, no? So it's just, so that's it means na naanay mga authors in some kasi plagiarism grammarly din is-show niya tong mga words, no, o kanang nga na ay murag the same or nag-plagiarize ko nung haikan. And sometimes it's also biased, no, like even you write your own words but lang yun talaga nga naa siya'y naanay nakasulat ang word nga naka ano sa ilahan, naka encode sa ilaha, so parang ganon, ma-scan gyapon siya as plagiarized. And what is this research fraud? So it's a serious offense. It's an act of publishing research results and generating conclusion from fabricated data and falsification. So ibig sabihin gumagawa ka lang, gawa lang ng mga data. So that's fraud or pang-atik, no? Na hindi mo talaga ginawa in real, but ginapapublish lang nimo. And if you are once na-detect yan, so they will reject or retract. If once published and then proven siya nga fraud, then they will even retract it from the published na journal. Ibig sabihin, it's a breach of scientific ethics, and they can be fraudulent, meaning the research findings and conclusion are fabricated or falsified, and it doesn't follow ethical standards. So retraction means kana bawion siya. And the paper is redundant publication. Ibig sabihin na naana siya previous publication, no? And but then gibalik-balik nimo publish kasi at first, it's one of the ethical standards na kailangan i-publish lang nimo imong article once in a journal. And once gisubmit mo siya, dili mo siya pwede isubmit sa lain. And we also have here an ORCID. So these are actually, if you click in here, I moved that actually. Wait now. So this is an ORCID. So you can register here using the steps. So this will be your permanent na identification as a researcher or a publisher. So you can go back to that link anytime naman, no? And also some more sa ethics. Okay, mana data. So open access statement. So open access siya if kanang ma-open lang nimo siya, no, sa kanang i-search nimo sa article, like sa keywords, ano na siya, mugawas na siya, so that's open access. So there are also like unsa ganing International Journal of Tourism, unsa ni siya publication, I forgot, murag Willie na lang, Willie and Sons ni siya. And ang open access nila is ang author ang magbabayad ng 50,000 pesos or $1,000 or more, or it could be dili siya open access but ang readers ang mabayad para ma-open niya. So in ana ang publication, no, it doesn't mean it's free for the writer or the researcher. No, it's the researcher that will going to pay for the publication cost. But if you have research organization that can pay for that, then the better. And there are also publication grants na pwedeng ano. So it's as I have said, copyrighted to the Visayas State Universities, no, and this is their journal. So sa manuscript structure, meron silang mga specific. That's why I'm telling you, you go directly to the format where the journal is requiring you. So ayan, may ilang words and letters, and also most importantly kung paano mag-cite ng references like this, no? They have specific, and each journal have their own style. And like kung journal article ba siya, or books and monographs, or you have paper or chapter within a book. So paano siya i-cite, like kani siya, this is just one chapter, in the book of Conklin ARN, which entitled World Food Production and Use. Or if conference siya, mo ni siya ang format. Or unpublished siya thesis, but mind you, there are journals who don't allow unpublished articles. So, but in the ATR, they allow unpublished na article or PhD dissertation ba siya. And also, there are also formats for illustration and tables and abbreviations and units. So, ito yung mga milligrams, gram, kilograms, ganun pagkasulat. S for second, R, H for R, and so on. So, actually, merong household style dito na i-click mo lang para here. So, we have discussed this household style before, no? And, yan. Measurements, ayan. Punctuations, tables, figures. So, may mga format dyan. And, yan, references. So, and also the scientific name. Kailangan, the common name of the species should be followed by the scientific name upon its first use in the abstract and text. And then, later on, pwede na siya, and it must be composed of genus and species. So, pwede na siya, dili na ibalik ang scientific name. And, about offprints, so, sa kanila kasi free yung, but before, I remember my first publication, although it's, I had a lot of citation from that, but then I never knew that's from David Publishing. Na in first I thought it was all free because I'm so tanga, no. I have no idea, so they just invite me to publish in their journal, and then after that, daghan na kayo of corrections, revisions, and I'm fed off of a lot of the revisions, and then finally, jud ako na lang siyang giantusan. Ready na siya for publication. And just surprise, no? Mga 16,000 akong bayro noon. Oh my God. And then gikapoy ko sa ko ang effort, kaya gibayaran na ginako ang 16,000 just for a publication. But then, good thing kasi since I'm a UST scholar, so meron silang publication grant and nabayaran man siya using the DOST na grant. And this will be archived here. So as you can see, in this meron silang archiving. And how to submit, no, through their website or through email. So, and if the library will subscribe, meron din silang mga subscription fee for this. So, I guess that's all. And just to show you the whole na so just to show you the whole na format nila, ayan. So, this is entitled Physical Chemical Quality and Sensory Evaluation of Pomelo Fruit as Influenced by Potassium Fertilization. So, this is 2021. So, yan ang abstract, ang introduction. Ayan. And the table. And meron din akong figure, the methods, the results. So I have a figure here. That's my own photo. And some more table and also. So in ilang format, and they have a acknowledgement also. So I acknowledge here the DOST as the MP card as the funding agency. So as you can see, the references, yan. Yun yung format na ginamit nila for the references. So I guess that's all for, and we have, I guess, for still 4 minutes. And I aside from the ATR, I will just show you some of the one of the renowned na mga publishing company, just like the Willies. Wala na siyang ano. If I can still remember. Pero nakipakita na ako ni sa inyo, di ba? Am I correct? Tama. Sa inyo niya. User ID. Napakita na ba na ako ni sa inyo?
Wala pa ata, ma'am.
Wala pa. Hopefully tama. If not, then sa inyo niya. I don't know why I cannot log in. Doon ang Punta kaya akong proceed na. So, for the meantime, since nagdugay-dugay ko ba, do you have any questions or clarification regarding submission to journal? Although you will not do this, but if ever I like ready na yung ginawa nyo, no, parang advanced level na siya. So I would invite you to submit into a journal later on. So maybe not now, maybe later or after your graduation, no? Ilang ta magdali. So do you have any questions or clarifications? Zero.
Ma'am,
Hopefully this will work. Una kay kalintanan kay ko. Never lang. Authorized access. Okay. Log in with existing account. Aha. Ahak man ni, oy. Okay, sorry kasi nakalimutan ko yung aking password. So we're less than a minute, and if you have questions or clarification, we can go back. Also, there is a writing, a research. So publishing